Alexis, thank you for the opportunity. You're a hard guy to reach, bro. You had me, you had me on unread. Doesn't even have my number saved. He's like, I don't have this number. Who is this? Oh, podcast. Oh yeah. I'm on the way, bro. Thank you for coming, bro.
Appreciate
Thank you.
the invite, bro.
I know that you born and raised down here, right?
Born and raised in Miami. Mm-hmm.
You had a very low point in your life. You worked at a golf course, drank, kind of lost. Am I right?
Completely right.
What changed? What was it that changed in you that said, my life is going to shit. I have to act now before I end up, addicted to probably something else other than alcohol.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was like an alcohol addiction. It was more,
he touched the microphone and another microphone. Now go ahead.
it was more of like a made it too casual type of deal, Because when you caddy, everybody's there, just whether it's Wednesday or Saturday, your clients want to drink with you, etc. And when you're drinking that much, bro, it's like maybe a bartender can relate. Your mind, there's no clarity. You know what I'm saying? And to answer the second part of your question, that internal timer that we get sometimes? For me, it started really kind of ticking inside of me at 21, 22, 23, because I had been doing entrepreneurship for almost a decade at that point. I had really started trying to make profit at the age of 14 in high school.
What were you doing?
Flipping chargers. I got I'm not talking about small
What high
scale.
school did you go to?
I went to Terra.
Terra, where's that at?
It was a new high school at the time. I was a third graduating class in Kendall.
In Kendall.
Kendall in the Hammocks
Kendall,
Park?
In the Hammocks, yeah. I
Hammocks
own the
Park?
property around there.
Yeah. Right there, they built a new school. It's not a new school anymore because my 10-year reunion is this year. But
Oh, okay.
went to that school and I started getting boxes shipped from Alibaba. Yeah, the AirPods that just come out, the ones with the cable, and I started getting them in all different colors, portable chargers, transitioned into then buying phones from my classmates and either repairing the screen and giving it back or buying it every time the new
Were you
iPhone
doing the
dropped.
repairs or you were taking it to a shop and have
I
it
would
repaired
outsource
and
that.
just...
Yeah, I would outsource that. I would take it to a shop, repair it. Usually the most profitable one, just buy the phone and repair it and sell it.
Correct.
Did that for a while and did several other businesses. And then by the point when I finished caddying, I was trying to launch a golf ball that was called Solux that I had already asked my uncle for almost $30K.
Launch a golf ball?
Like my own golf ball brand.
Okay.
Designed it. Golf balls, for people that don't know, have performance. Depending on the core of the golf ball, how many layers and how thick the layers are, it'll depend on the spin rate and how it performs on the golf course for good golfers. So since I was so involved in the golf game, I was like, let me invent my own golf ball. That failed. That whole trip to Wisconsin was a failure. I didn't come back with any money saved like I was intended to. And it was that one day, bro, I made an intro video to the events, the live events before I go on stage now. They see a 9-minute video. And it was this one moment when it had been 3 weeks of me laying in bed and having really, really bad conversations in my head to the point where I don't think I ever thought about doing it, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like killing myself or anything like that. I never thought about.
You feel like you were just depressed, but what was causing the depression, bro?
The constant failure, brother. It was almost 10 years of, I was really, really trying. I had a car wash at one point that got up to 30 employees.
That was my first job.
Yeah.
I worked at a car wash, and I was doing side hustles. I would steal the products from the car wash and wash cars at home while I was working there in high school. 14 years old, 15 years old.
We have probably a very, very similar story, dude. I scaled that with an app that came out at the time that was like an Uber for car washes. I brought it to life in Miami where I started washing exotic cars in parking garages because they didn't allow water hoses. So it was like a product that you can spray on the car. And as long as the car wasn't super dirty, the car would get clean. I scaled that to, I think I had a 5K day one day, but I had no idea how to run a business, no idea how to operate, how to train.
How old were you?
17 or 18 at that point. I had just graduated high school, maybe 19 with the car wash. Then I started caddying shortly after. I did auto detailing for a couple years on the side. At that point, once the car wash kind of blew up in my face, I just started doing higher end car washes. $700 a week.
Did you get certified to become a detailer or no?
No, I just watched maybe, I don't know, 500 hours.
No, because there's certifications.
Yeah. No, it was a whole niche. It was a whole niche that now I follow people on Instagram that make 6 figures a year doing that because they do high level details on classic cars and stuff like that. That didn't work out. I wasn't gonna go and make that my career. And then at the point where I was on that 3-week, I remember it being a 3-week thing because I would wake up like at 1 p.m., eat something, and just lock myself back in the room and just feel miserable for myself, bro. You know, like I was fully capable, but I had tried so many different things.
You have siblings?
I have a younger sister. She was in dental school at the time, or she was either in undergrad getting ready for dental school. And she was always like the successful, you know, do what she said she was going to do, follow the school path, college. Throughout all this time, I had been doing stints at Dade and FIU.
What stints? What
Stints is like a semester, and then I give up. I can't do it.
Okay.
You know, 2 credits, failed the rest of the classes. And then as one venture would fail, my mom would push me, and I had a girlfriend at the time, would push me back into school. Bro, you obviously, this is not working out. Like, obviously stop doing it. You know, you're going to run yourself to the ground. You're going to get to 30, and you're not going to be anything. So that internal clock started clicking where I had already done maybe like 6 or 7 semesters, over 10 ventures that failed. And then one day my mom pulled me out of my room and just started crying, bro. Because I didn't tell her I'm going to kill myself. I told her, I was like, it's getting really bad. I don't know what to do. I need something. I need some sort of light at the end of this tunnel. And she started crying and basically telling me, like, how could you? You're so smart. You're so capable in Spanish. You know, Cuban.
Yeah.
Eres tan inteligente y tienes tanta capacidad is exactly what she told me. How could you just not figure it out? Just please get a job, go to school, just grind it out, and just
Are your parents together?
be successful. No.
Separated?
Yeah.
At the time they were separated too?
Yeah. Been separated for a very long time.
Did your parents come from Cuba here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Around what year? Durante Mariel?
I don't know.
In
Bro.
the 80s? How old are you, bro?
I'm 28. My
You're
mom
28.
is 63 and my dad's 59.
Okay.
I don't know. I had a conversation with my dad the other day at the Marlins game, and I asked him, where were you from in Cuba? And I think he told me he was from, I forgot now, bro, to be honest, because I always mix it up. I always say Pinar del Rio. My dad's from La Habana, and my mom's from Pinar del Rio, I think.
No, my mom's from Pinar del Rio.
Mm-hmm. I think they came probably in their early 20s, maybe.
Yeah, same as my mom. So
My dad went to Costa Rica first.
So in the 80s.
Spent a couple years there, and then came to Miami.
They
And
were
then-
together in Cuba when they came over?
I
Or
don't-
they met
I
here?
think they met here, bro.
No.
No,
Yeah, but Babo, you should know this, dog.
I don't, bro.
You don't ask those questions, bro?
The thing is, man, like my mom and dad were.
Really?
It was really bad, bro.
So
it was really bad.
and your siblings are from the same?
My sister is one of my sisters. This is something I've never said on a podcast.
You see, viste? I told you I was gonna get them, dog.
My blood sister, my full sister, is from my mom, and then I have another little sister that's a half sister.
Okay.
You got it out of me.
I told you,
No.
dog. Viste? Viste?
Yeah,
Yo te lo
I do.
dije, dog. Yo te lo
I do
dije,
have a
bro.
little
I
sister.
told you something's gonna come up, dog, because I go deep, bro.
That's a, I have,
So
I
this
have a
is
little
so-
Sister, yeah. This guy got it.
Look, man, so my thing is this, man. We've all been there, bro. I
Yeah.
was lost. I was lost in high school. What changed me was this. I ended up meeting my ex-wife. She was 6 years older than me, right? It was at the time, my best friend's sister. And that's right there, because I was going down the same path. I was going to join the Marines, bro.
Wow.
I already took the test, and hey, bro, you're a perfect candidate. What do you want? No, I don't know. Infantry, bro. I was ready to go, cause they hype you up. Met her, and 6 years older, she was graduating from FIU as a teacher, and I was graduating from American.
Crazy you went to
And
America.
right there, yeah, I went to American, and right there, Babo, I said, "Coño, bro, this is a woman. This is not like a little girl." So we ended up getting married and everything, and have 2 boys. At that moment right there, I said, I have to now coger las cosas serias, because I wasn't going to go to school.
Mhm.
I just knew that I was going to become successful. Didn't know in what.
Mhm.
I wanted to become a technician, and I've always wanted to work for BMW. And I ended up landing a job at BMW in South Motors. Worked there for 6 months. At the time, did your high school have OJT or no? On the job training when you're a senior, that you only go for 2
No.
classes and then you go work?
I'm gonna say no, maybe not. I missed maybe 30% of my senior year.
Oh shit.
Like just
No,
I'm not going to school.
I was missing. I was bad until I met her. When I met her, straight A student, bro.
That's crazy.
Straight A student. It's crazy. It's crazy what the power of the P could do, bro. You know, I'm dead serious, bro. The power of the P, bro. That show'll change you. So, anyways, I was lost, bro. I was lost. Luckily, I was able to, and I was hanging around the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
If you had all these, your mom being so loving, caring, you know, I'm pretty sure she had siblings here too. Was your family close? Like, why did you feel that, coño? Is it just because you thought that you were just a failure because of all the failed successes? You know, there's a lot of people that fail, bro. Walt Disney became bankrupt. I don't know how many
Right.
times. We were talking about, who was it? Thomas Edison, about the light bulb 1,000 times. Pablo, come on, dog.
Yeah. So that's a good question. And now you're going to get another truth that probably a lot of people, I've shared this, but my dad was a very successful entrepreneur.
And what?
He owned many Lady of Americas. You ever heard of that company?
Pablo, hold on.
Yeah.
The fitness.
Yeah.
Your boy knows my boy, dog.
My dad?
Yes.
Who's your guy?
Angel.
Medeiros.
Ah, fuck! I forgot his
With
last
the
name.
spiky hair?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Look, me estoy editando. Angel is my boy, dog.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So it's a small world.
Shit went down there.
Okay, so
we're not gonna get into that.
Okay, yeah. We don't have to touch that. We don't have to touch that subject.
Kurt, that's
we don't
where
have to. We don't, so now I know.
Yeah,
Now this all makes sense,
yeah.
and this probably makes sense to why you went.
Because
why you
he
felt
was an
that way.
entrepreneur and he hired my entire.
Pablo, Lady Fitness of America.
He owned.
Was the shit, bro. Right there on
Yeah.
186. They had it right there, right where
They
it
had
lived.
many of them.
Angel, dog. Wait until I tell Angel, bro. Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Does he still talk to Angel or no? Okay, that's fine.
I think he's tried. I was a kid when everything happened, and I started associating certain people with certain things, and certain people from that time, I have a bad sentiment towards.
I understand.
I was a kid though, so I don't.
So you don't really know que.
I don't know whose side of the story is the right side of the story.
Correct.
So the whole thing is, right,
Thought the world is small, though.
my dad employed everybody in our family, and it was an ultimate. Now that I'm getting older and I'm talking more with my dad, I respect how much of a fucking badass he is. He made a
1000.
ton of mistakes.
But at the time too, bro, they were young. They were making a lot of money, bro. Lady
yeah, but
Fitness
there was
of
a
America
lot of mistakes that caused a lot of damage to a lot of people. You know, when it comes to certain aspects of life, women and other things, and all that happened, whatever. But now as I get older, as an entrepreneur, I commend his nutsack for being. He was. I don't know how else to say it, bro. He had tremendo cojones, bro.
So then that's where you.
That's where I get this. That's where I get this now. We talked about it the other day, and I go, "That's where I get this now." But
It was always in you, bro.
the fear of everybody around me as to why I felt like a failure because they were all trying to pull me away from the route. They were like, "Tú eres igual que tu papá. You're gonna do the same shit that he did. You have the same tendencies. You're impulsive. You're this. You're that. You go from one thing to another. Look at how he ended up, right? Bankrupt. Look at how the whole family ended up. Everybody's destroyed. Please don't go down that path." That was my mom. Please don't do this again because she saw her ex-husband in me. She still tells me sometimes, like in the beginning, before everything that's unraveling now is unraveling. I called my mom yesterday and I told her, Mom, I sent her a screenshot. I had a really big milestone yesterday that I've never accomplished in the coaching business. We had our first six-figure month. I guess I'll just fucking say it so people don't wonder. We had our first six-figure month in coaching. I've done 6 figures in a month in real estate. First 6 figures in a month in coaching happened yesterday. And she's like, starts crying, obviously. Like, coño, that's a big relief because she's scared that I was going to go down the same path, but I don't do any drugs. I have some of the tendencies that he has, but I don't have all of them. So when I kept failing, they were like, look, we know how this road ends because he took it all the way to the top, bro. My dad I think he told me he revenued 1 year, 17 million.
Pablo, Lady Fitness of America was shit.
Dog, we had like 8 cars at one point. We had 4 cribs. Like, it was.
They lived it up, bro. They lived it up.
As they should, bro. You know what? As they should. If my dad wouldn't have made all those mistakes, I don't think I'd be the person I am today.
Of course.
And if my mom wasn't my mom, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Because my mom has been through a lot of stuff, and the way she's held it down, bro, for me to be the person that I am today, that has integrity, that doesn't steal, that doesn't lie, that treats my employees the way I treat my employees, that prioritizes things. Like, for example, instead of paying $4,000 a month for a fucking Lamborghini like I easily could, I fucking hired my grandma and took her out of whatever job she was at, and now she comes and helps me out in cleaning and cooking and doing those things, and she's happy every single day.
How does that make you feel?
Absolutely incredible, bro. She just texted me that Air's out of my house right now. She's there, whatever. She gets to go there. My entire team usually comes to my house, cooks breakfast and lunch for us. She sends me the receipts from Publix. I can't spend this much money on fucking food. She gets nervous, but abuela, if my closers can come down and just eat real quick and I have to go out and get food, it helps them close more money. I try to explain it to her. But they're all very scared, bro. They're all very scared because the trajectory was starting to look the same, you know, especially my first 3 years in real estate. I started making 30, 40K a month, you know, that to me was a fuck ton of money. And I started going down the same trajectory of spending, not drugs, but spending. I started
going out.
You know, I got 2 cars. I started going out and paying a lot of, ran up the expenses. And I got to a point where I bought a house and I was remodeling it. And halfway through the remodel, I ran out of money. In 22, late 22, ran out of money and I almost went back into my mom's house. That was another turning point for me where I changed my spending habits, sacked up again, closed some deals, and now I'm in a much better financial situation because of what's happened in the past. So I'm just really trying to, when I go to the Marlins game with him or the Heat game, I'm like, here are the questions that I want to know of what you did right. How can I avoid the fuck what you did, bro? How can I avoid that shit? Like, where do you think it went wrong? And you know what the number one answer he told me was? The people he was hanging out with, bro. I'm not saying it's that person. The people that he was hanging out with fucking tore the whole shit apart.
That's what it is, bro.
But at the end of the day, I told him, bro, it took you so long to get back on your feet. He got back on his feet a year and a half ago. He said he went to one of my live events, which honestly, he texted me yesterday. He goes, bro, the reason why he sent me an award that he got this year for making 6 figures as a business broker. He goes, this is because of you, bro.
He's a business broker now?
He's a business broker. He helps people buy and sell businesses.
That's good to know.
He said that I fucking put him back on his feet, but the reason why it took him so long to get back on his feet, and this is for everybody watching, ownership, bro. He blamed everybody and everything for what happened. Instead of saying everything that he did, every room that he walked into, every decision that he made, every failure that he had, and success was all his fault. But it took him 15 fucking years to realize that.
Some people are hard-headed, bro.
My dad's very, very, and I'll send him this video. He knows. He has a very, very big ego. So do I. And he's very emotionally attached to outcomes, which is one thing that I've gotten really, really good at is detachment from an outcome or places.
Resentment.
Or
You guys hold a lot. You hold a lot.
I used to. Right now, I don't. Like, for example, like when I sold my house, like that for me, I thought it was going to hit me different. I didn't care. I was like, on to the next chapter. But my dad holds on to things a lot, bro. He doesn't let
Why?
it go.
Because it was like your first house or something?
That was my first house, bro, that I bought with my uncle. And we remodeled it. I put a basketball court in the back. I put a studio in the back. It was an awesome place, and I thought it was going to affect me in a different way. Like, for example, my mom built a house, I think, like in 2005. That was like a 5,500 square foot mansion, and we got foreclosed on that house in 2015.
Where did you guys build this at?
Sunset and 102nd. Okay. 68th Street and 102nd, to be exact, on the corner. And my dad would talk about that shit up until like 2 years ago, bro. Every time we get into a conversation, it'd be the fucking about the house, bro. Bro, let it fucking go, bro. It's been 10 years, dude. And we were not making mortgage payments 5 years before that.
They're living in the past, bro.
He was living in the past,
because it was the
bro.
high times.
He was living in the past.
But that's normal sometimes, bro.
Yeah, but bro, Rio, and listen, I've never made that much money yet. Like, he was making millions a month in revenue. I haven't touched that yet. And I get it when you're that guy, bro. Especially when you mix other things, though, bro. When you mix other things, it
gets to your head.
The story in your head becomes different, bro.
1,000%.
You become a different person, and if you lose that personality, I can see why such a high can take you to such a low.
So let's get back to employing your grandma. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
But did you end up retiring your mom or something like that?
No. My grandma's the one that's, I wouldn't call her retired. Because even if I told her here's $5,000 a month, she'd die if she stayed at home every single day. Number one. Number two, my next goal is to, I always say retire my mom, and I keep telling her that. I could retire my mom right now. I could send her $5,000 a month if I wanted to. She doesn't want to stop, bro. You know, people, and this, I'll say this for every entrepreneur watching, right? Retiring your mom is a great goal, but I think just being in a financial situation where everybody's just calm and
comfortable.
And comfortable is a better one, because saying you're going to retire your parents, I don't think it actually is what people think it is, because they're not just going to wake up and sit at home or travel the world.
They're going to get bored, bro.
People like to have a purpose, right?
Correct.
I think I'm already in the situation where, like, everybody around me is just, my sister just graduated dental school. I'm crushing it right now in business, and we're all level-headed, both of us. And I think that for her is the most peace you can ever feel. That her children
that right there is
panned out.
success for her.
That's success for her. So I accomplished that. Would I love to eventually, be going from city to city on a private jet with her in the jet? Speaking on stages with 50,000 people, that would be like the ultimate thing for me, which I just pray to God that he gives me the opportunity and the time, because it will happen. But I would dread the day that I'm on that plane going to the next city to speak in front of another 10,000 people and she's not here anymore. So that's why I'm so urgent about my business, because it's not about I want another car. I haven't even bought a supercar yet. Could I go buy a supercar? For sure. Would it be the smartest thing to do? No, because I want to get to that moment faster. I think it'll mean more to me because it's a fucking really nice car. What's the difference of me getting a Urus and that?
I think after you reach, you know, some kind of success and you already know that you could afford certain things,
So
you're like okay, it's great, you know, that's it. Pero you're not. We're good. we're there's something. There's more meaning. You end up finding another purpose or another meaning towards another why. How people say, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I wanted to retire. My mom worked at a factory for 20 years, bro. But my mom got sick and passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, bro. That right there is what changed my mind and the way I see life. And that's what caused me to leave the dealership after 12 years to start my business.
How old are you?
I'm 35. I turn 36 next week. So,
What can I ask you a question?
of course, bro.
My biggest thing is my mom, bro. What drives you now? You have boys, right?
I have kids, bro, but what drives me is knowing the fact that in a split moment, in a split second, you could lose the love of your life, bro.
Mm-hmm.
In a split moment like that, you could lose the love of your life, bro, and you're never gonna see them ever again. Yeah. And that's what touches me, and I'm like, dude, yeah, she could see me from heaven, and you know, but it's not the same. So I talk,
me, bro.
So I talk to my aunts. And I talk to them and I tell them things and they're like, you know, is my mom proud of me? You think my mom would be proud of me? What do you think my mom would say? She said, Coño, papi, your mom will be super proud of you. But it's not the same hearing it from her than from somebody else.
Sure, bro. I'm going to appreciate my mom's phone calls. Oh, Jesus Christ. This
You
guy's
see
actually going to get me to fucking cry, bro.
So listen, so that's what it is, bro. So I for you right now, I'm pretty sure your why is your mom. Just like how my why was my mom. Now it's my kids. You know, now it's my kids, and I also have my brother, my dad working in the business, and we have about 150 employees. So I carry a lot on my shoulders,
bro.
Carry a lot on my shoulders, bro. But
let's talk about that real quick. Say what you were gonna say, but I want to talk about for the people watching, like the pressure of carrying all this.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch that. I just wanted to get back to the stuff, but go ahead. I want to interview you, dog.
No, but I think people enjoy like not the version of us where we're kind of like up here trying to say.
People have no idea what it takes.
They have no idea, bro. They have no idea what.
They have no idea what it takes and how everything falls on me. One bad decision, because I've made plenty of bad decisions in my business, that it has impacted a lot of people's lives right now. Right, the business is going through shit right now because of bad decisions that I've made, bad deals that I've done. And it is affecting a lot of people, right? But like, you know, how your dad's situation was, instead of blaming other people, no, I blame myself.
That's the only way you're gonna.
I'm blame myself. The same way, once I get out of it, I'm gonna pat myself on the back and say, you did it. You know, you're being resilient. Didn't give up, Pablo. Because at any point you could always just throw in the towel. The amount of pressure, stress that you carry on you, it's not easy, bro. You have to be built for this, bro.
I don't want to discourage other entrepreneurs watching this, but I think there's a part of you that has to be built for this. Even the other day, bro, I was laying down in bed at the hotel. I've done live presentations many, many times. And this was the first one that I was going to do a pitch on stage, like an offer on stage. Right? I couldn't sleep, bro. I had just dished out, which for a company like you might not be anything crazy. I think I had just dished out $14K in payroll for that week, which to me is like, these are new heights that
But as long as you have big margins.
For sure, the coaching business, the coaching business
See,
does.
I don't have big
but
margins.
when you're growing so fast, I want people to know that there's two pressures, like the pressure of being in a situation where you're a failure and nobody ever tells you that they're proud of you, and that's pressure, right? Because you're failing. But the pressure of holding everything together, bro, when you got employees that look up to you, bro, and
No, when you're taking care of all those families.
because that's how I
nobody
see it.
thinks
That's how
about
I see it.
that.
I see all 14 employees that have families, that have
Claro.
kids. There's most of them are older than me. You know what
And
I'm
if
saying?
your business fails,
grandma,
they fail.
grandma, you know. So
Trust me, dog. I know.
And you know, I told my COO when he walked in the room, like before we all went out that day, I was like, "Bro, I'm feeling the heat today, bro." He goes, "I couldn't tell. Like, you're not gonna tell, but I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling the heat." He goes, "What do you want to do about it?" Like, "Oh, there's nothing to do about it. We're gonna keep fucking rocking and rolling, but today, I am feeling the heat."
Yeah, there's days that you wake up feeling good, and there's days that you just want to stay in bed, bro,
nobody would tell though, bro. At least for me, nobody can tell. At this point in my life,
No, of course
those
you
depression
can.
days and
No,
weeks,
you
they don't
you
exist
can.
anymore, bro.
Now, the one that could tell is my brother, bro. My brother knows me like there's no tomorrow. He already knows, yo, what's wrong, you know. And certain people close to me, they already know if I'm feeling a little bit off. But the pressure gets to you, bro. The stress.
That's what we get paid to do, though, bro. The more you can handle and remain in the same. I always talk about this in my trainings. Remaining in the same state of mind, and being able to make poised decisions throughout the pressure, you're just gonna continue getting rewarded with income, bro.
The question is this: how do you stay like that? How do you get yourself out of that feeling like, you know, stressed and depressed? That's where it's at. It's what is it you do? What is it you tell yourself? What is it that you hear, listen, read? That's where everybody has their own thing. You know, I go back to my mom. Yo, my mom came from Cuba, bro, left everything back, came over here, worked at a factory for, 30-something years, 20-something years, and was able to accomplish a lot on a minimum wage salary. Even if I fail, I can still dust myself off and keep moving, bro.
That's it right there. You just said it, though.
You know, that's at least that's for me, you know, but everybody has their own.
I think for people like us that have experienced, I'm sure, have you experienced rock bottom ever? Like financially, with a family, everything, the whole shit?
As far as like bankruptcy, no, but I'm
like bad days, just bad fucking days,
bro.
None of this was a possibility.
I've showed them my bank account negative $47,000, bro, and I have to do payroll. And I have to do payroll on Friday, and I'm negative $47,000.
You're a G,
and where the fuck do you? That's when you start.
That's
praying to God. Wait, what's gonna happen? Then all of a sudden you pull up to the mailbox. Y están los cheques ahí, dog. You empiezas a llorar like a little bitch. You start crying like a little bitch in your car, dog. I'm dead serious. You start crying like a little bitch in your car, thanking God, like, coño, bro, another day. Vamos para adelante. Let's keep going. That's where it's at, bro.
They think that this is like fun, bro. It is really fun, but it's not for everybody.
You have to be built for it, bro.
Going back to answer your question, what I do when I'm at those moments of extreme pressure, I just remember the kid that fucking just woke up and carried golf bags. There were still many happy moments at that time in my life.
Probably. That's
if I lost all of it, you just restart, bro. You just restart again with a bunch of experience.
But a lot of people think, no, coño, you fail and that's it, and it's the end of the world.
But that's why you have to be able to train your mind. There's something called perspective. People don't understand the definition of perspective. Perspective is the windowsill that you look through. In the house, there's a window in the front and a window in the back, and there's two completely different views. The same problem, the same house, two completely different views. One's looking at the ocean, one's looking at the fucking rocks, or the building next door. I always choose to look at the fucking ocean, bro, because I've had the privilege of experiencing rock bottom, and I understand that money is printed every single day. I could lose $500 gazillion today, and the way that the system works is that it'll give you another opportunity, bro. The United States of America will give you another opportunity to make a name for yourself as long as you're able to stay in your mind sharp. Because my dad lost his mind for a fuckload of time, bro. I can't say that he's still all there. When you lose that, you lose every single ability you have, bro. And that's why there's certain people that can make it all the way up here, and there's certain people that crack at a certain level, because it's the amount of pressure that you can handle, bro. How much heat can you take at one time and still make decisions in a poised state of mind? How many responsibilities, how many employees, how many lawsuits,
everything, bro.
How many negative bank accounts can you take? How many, and then continue? Because here's the thing: when you start having negative 47 in the account, you start spiraling, and you start making decisions out of a bad state of mind, and then you're cooked. How long can you maintain that for, bro? People think that the guy in the Ferrari at the red light is like just thinking about the song that he's listening to. Huh. Brother, that his brain is a storm. If that guy worked for that Ferrari, his brain is a storm, bro. I used to think that getting in this car every morning would be like the coolest thing in the world, where you turn it on, you hear the engine.
It's good for like the first week, bro.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Don't get me wrong, I love the car. But my brain is always a storm. And I love it, bro. I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I've gotten really, really good at problem solving under pressure, bro.
You have to be thinking quick.
And I don't think any coaching or mentorship can teach you that. It's about fucking failing for 15 years in a row.
Or just being already in the game, and that's it. Once you're in, you can.
But you got to be in it for a long enough time, bro.
Yeah.
You got to go back to zero enough times. And people are not willing to do that, bro. People like in my industry, like IT, I'd say, hey, look, this is exactly what you got to do. Do it for long enough. You'll be successful. They'll cold call for 2 weeks. This is not for me. Brother, we're talking about this is year fucking 16 for me. 14 to 28, year 14. This is year 14 of me trying to figure it out. And I look at the fucking dashboard and I'm like, I feel like an infant in this space. And that's what keeps me growing so fast month over month in a space that I'm relatively new to, because I always feel like I'm bad at what I'm doing. Not that I'm like punishing myself, but I always feel like I'm behind, which makes you always continue working, right? We did 100 grand this month, or we're well past it right now, but right back to the drawing board. Today we just booked 9 events for May that we're gonna roll out because we want to go for 200.
Okay, so your business right now, you teach realtors how to close deals.
I teach realtors specifically, mainly how to cold call. Throughout the program and the course and the platform, we will help you how to get through the transaction.
Now, you have a sales team?
Mm-hmm.
You train them as well?
No, I used to, but now the expectation is set that they're going to train themselves and they're going to invest into mentorship for themselves. Because in my opinion, I can give them the best sales coaching ever.
But what kind of leader then are you if you're not teaching them and or paying or taking them or showing them?
I show them exactly who to go to, and this is a crazy hot take. To get to $1 million a year, I can easily get to $1 million a year by taking sales calls with them. And this is more for like entrepreneurs that are trying to scale to like 5. That's what I'm trying to do right now. You can take the sales calls with them, lay out the blueprint. They have hundreds of my sales calls already, and you can be the one reviewing their calls, giving them tips, role playing with them, or you can hire an expert, pay them for their time to do it for you while you continue scaling the brand in the company. Because their close rate will get exponentially better, faster, if my brand is bigger and more trusted. Because that person already getting on a call with Jeremy Miner's team and my team is 2 different stories, because everybody knows who Jeremy Miner is. Not a lot of people know who I am. There's more vested trust in that person. You can have a weaker salesperson and close more deals. So my highest value activity right now is this, what we're doing right here, is creating more content and getting out to more people. Could I spend 8 hours a day doing it? I fucking love it. I could absolutely do it. Or could I just leverage out and have them invest with me? Because I paid for some of their mentorships, but not all of them, because some people have to earn their stripes. And have somebody else that already has a program built out specifically for that, teach them that. It's about leverage, bro. When you're trying to get from...
What's the difference between you trying to build that than going out there and hiring a company to do
the coaching? That's what we're doing.
Not to do the coaching, to do the selling for you. There's companies out there.
That's a great question.
There's companies out there. There's companies out there that, they have the people, they have everything, and you got it? Just it's a freaking table,
That's
bro. They just take a cut. It has to be a high ticket item.
This is a really good question.
Or a low ticket item, but with a lot of volume. That way you take off payroll, you take off all that stuff, you just pay, and the only way they make money is if they close.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you gonna have full control? You might not. I'm guessing, no, because these people might be in another state.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Have you thought about that?
Of course. One word for me is culture.
Okay.
I can easily right now, and I know who they are, and I know what companies to get them for, hire better closers than what I have right now. That are going to get me a higher close rate. They're going to be more committed, and we're going to make more money right now. I'm looking, and people will always leave. People will always eventually end up leaving. And I told my team on a team meeting last week, I'm going to get to the numbers eventually, with or without you guys. I'm going to get to the numbers eventually. That's the kind of guy I am. I'd rather get to these numbers and be on the same, just like we're fucking traveling on cars today. I want the same fucking people to be with me on the plane in 10 years. In that fucking big G7 on the way to fucking Europe to go speak in front of 50,000 people. I want the same fucking 10, 15, 20 people that were at the core to be there in 10 years. I want to build people up, bro. Because I can go out there and buy closers. As soon as they get tired of making the money they're making with me, they're going to go to the next shiny object. I want to build people up, and to me, it gives more, and that's what my students say. There's more personalization on the sales call. It's not just a rep. No, all of my reps were realtors, were good realtors, and went through my program. They're not just there to close you on a high-ticket offer. They're there to listen to you, cater to you, and tell you whether or not joining makes sense. I have a client success advisor that went through my program, was a realtor as well, that can because when you get an online course, bro, when you're paying a 7K ticket, you get the course, the videos, and the trainings and the group calls. I have someone that sits with you one-on-one every single week, bro, and caters to your plan, your needs, and creates a content plan, KPI tracker plan for you. That's why I'm growing so fast, because I actually care about what my people that pay for this shit are getting. And I think that building slow with the bricks, you know how when you're building a house with bricks, you gotta like put the concrete and shit. People just try to rush that shit and get to 200, 500, and a million a month as fast as they can. I'd rather take my time and do that shit the right way and build the right systems, foundations, SOPs. That way, if anybody decides to leave in the future, I can easily just plug and play. Plug and play.
When you sell these courses,
I don't even call it's not a course.
Well, what is it? What is it then? What is it?
It's a platform, bro.
Okay, so you sell the platform.
It's a community in the platform.
So you sell the platform. Do you tell them, "Hey, look, this is it. If you follow this and you have grit and you have all this, you're going to be successful"? Because I'm pretty sure you probably get, a lot of negative feedback at times. Coño, bro, I paid this and it's not working. Like, what's going on? But do you tell them straight up, look, it's up to you to really make those calls. It's up to you to really dedicate the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tell them that, or
So most salespeople will get on a sales call with you. You're trying to buy my course. Hey, so this course is great. It's gonna help you do this, that, the third. You're gonna see more success than you've ever seen. Whatever. I tell them the opposite. I go, bro, are you sure you want to do this? Like, I'm training my reps to say, why do you even want a cold call? When every single realtor is shying away from it, why would you want a cold call? To see if there's a real reason. They will not get the opportunity to join if they don't give us a real reason as to why they want a cold call. And then they'll ask, one of the main questions we get on the call, well, what's your success rate? I go, well, it depends. What is your willingness to want to succeed? And then tell them very straight up, bro, there's not a lot of people that actually stick to something for long enough for it to work. And I tell them very transparently, just like you said, this is completely up to you, bro. There's students that are in the same program, the same platform, that get the same materials, that go out there and make $300K in their first year, and there's ones that fucking make 0 deals in the same program. What do you think that tells you, Sam? If you were the guy in the sales call and I asked you, what do you think that tells you? Well, it depends on what I do with it. Correct. So you can either stay in your spot that you're at right now and guarantee yourself no different of an outcome, or you can make an investment in yourself, but depending on your commitment will depend on your result. I can commit to you that I will be there 6 times a week. I will give you every single cutting edge technology or advantage that I can from what I'm studying in the market, because I do this full time. I don't do my own personal production anymore, so I can prioritize you. But the effort that you put in is up to you. A lot of my students ask for this. Do you have accountability? What do you mean? I'm not going to call you in the morning and tell you to fucking get up and get on the role play. I'm going to give you everything you need. You're going to see the chat with 350 realtors every single morning. Let's go. Good morning. Let's get it. Win. Just close, just sold. You'll see that. But the decision to get on the call, and then after you get off the call to fucking make your own calls.
You do Zoom calls?
Is up to you. 6 times a week, bro. I show up 6 times a week.
Okay.
When most coaches that are competing,
that shows kind of a accountability as well. You have a Zoom call.
But I have 325 active members right now, and we get about 50 people on calls. So the other 300,
están en la calle.
And they're paying fucking close to 10K.
A year.
No, half a year. It's 6 months.
And that's it. It's a one-time thing.
I have different levels now. I have a 2nd-tier program now. I just hired a coach that is actually, I'll say it live, I don't give a fuck. He's actually 100 times better than me.
Well, you have to, bro.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
You have to hire.
People almost like him more than they like me, and I don't care. I really don't care, because I'm the one providing them the opportunity.
That's the only way you're gonna get better.
This guy is an absolute savage out of the St. Pete market. He's closed hundreds of properties, and he's done more volume than I've ever done in a year. And honestly, in certain parts of the trend, I'm very,
is he
very
an older guy?
He's 4 years older. He's 32. Okay. He's very, very well versed in every aspect of real estate. I'm very, very good at on the phone and in-person presentation. He's very, very structured. I had the talent, I'll be honest, I had the talent to go in there and get a listing without all the bells and whistles as far as the presentation and the structure and the documents. I would go in there and I'd fucking riz you up and close you. A lot of students don't have that. They need something to fall back on, and Austin is his name. He's the one that's providing that for my students now. So ever since you've been a part of this, bro, and you were a huge, you saw the bank account sometimes, and you saw where we were at, onboarding people. Now we're doing close to 50 units every single month of onboardings. Things have changed very, very quickly because of the personnel that I've been able to bring on, bro. And my leadership skills have grown a lot in the last 6 months, for sure.
Yeah, man. When you're running a team like that, my brother holds me accountable, bro. He tells me straight up, like, look, bro, you got to work on your leadership skills, because there's things that, dude, we're not perfect.
No.
And how do you take when somebody puts you on the spot like that? Do you say, you know what, bro? Let me listen to him. He might be right, or you like, yeah, nah, bro. I got this shit on lock, bro. What are you talking
I
about?
got nothing on lock, bro. I am the most confident human being you'll meet, but I got nothing on lock. I act and move like
Well, you have to.
you have to, because if not, you're not going to grow. We get DMs from hundreds of realtors a day, because I have people in my DMs that are sending messages and stuff, and I kind of glance through them sometimes, and these realtors are making no money. And
But is it their market? Is it their market?
how could it be their market when there's in every single market there's thousands of deals transacting every single week? It's not the market. That's one of the first things that I train on all of my live events is ownership. If you're blaming the elections, the interest rates, or the markets, you're already fucked, bro. Because there's an agent down the street that's closing fucking 100 deals a year in your market. Every single market has it, bro. Is this a tougher market than in 21 and 22 and in 20? 100%.
Yeah, bro.
Either you can pack your shit and go fucking get a 9 to 5,
No,
or shut the fuck up and get to work.
This market right now is gonna weed out all those people that came in 2020 that cualquiera was just buying. I see it. Everybody
Yeah,
was
bro.
making the money.
Yeah.
This market right now was gonna weed out all these people, and the people
real
that
ones
the
will
people
stay.
the exactly the ones right now that are holding it together and pushing through are the ones that are gonna succeed once the
In
things
2 or
turn.
3 years when things turn around,
That's what's gonna happen.
I present my offer at these live events and the webinars and on the sales calls as a unique opportunity, bro. Because right now, everybody's in fear. And as you know from the big books that we read when we were younger, Warren Buffett, et cetera, when everybody's in fear, be greedy. Be greedy with your skill set. Right now, I tell realtors, this is the biggest opportunity of your life, bro. If you develop and you're able to stick through the next 24 months and develop a skill set that's unpenetratable, that nobody can take away from you, because what's in here, nobody can take away from you. God forbid an accident happens, whatever. In 2 or 3 years, when things turn around, and then people want to flood in, because when things are going good, everybody wants it, right? I want to get my license out. You're gonna have all the market share because you were building the skill set
While
everybody was dipping,
correct.
and that
You
is
gotta
all.
stay on the ball.
And what is a skill set? The only skill set that you need to make money in this world is your ability to communicate, your ability to sit down in front of a human being, ask them the right questions, listen to them properly, and respond accordingly, and be able to make a sale. And it's not about convincing people. It's about identifying and finding the right prospects that need your help and persuading them into working with you, knowing as long as you know that you can get them a better result that they can get elsewhere. That's what I define sales as. I don't train realtors to cold call random people. I train them to cold call people that already are for sale, needing help. And I help them persuade the individual.
There was a video that I saw of you, which was pretty cool. It was I guess you were calling like a for sale by owner, and you were trying to get the listing, and you were trying like to tell the guy like, yo, the benefits of hiring a realtor. Would you want to dive into that a little bit? Because a lot of people think that, oh no, we don't need a realtor. I could for sale by owner.
You could. I could cut my own hair too.
But what's correct? What are the pros and cons?
So there's only 2 main components that sell a property. Marketing, aka exposure, how many people can see it, how many of those people that see it are qualified to purchase it, and then when they communicate with you that they're interested, how well can you articulate the value of that property to where they want to pay more than average or what the market states it's worth. Those are the only 2 components that sell a property. So you can be for sale by owner and throw it up on Zillow, where 95% of the people looking at it are realtors that want your listing, so they can't purchase it. And the other 5% are investors that want to purchase it at a discount for sale by owner. If you hire the right realtor, they will expose it where 100% of the people looking at the property are qualified buyers or agents that have the qualified buyers. And then when they make an inquiry on it, if you're a skilled and trained individual, you will learn how to communicate, ask the right questions, find whether or not there's real motivation, bring them into the property, show them the home, and make it, because with residential, it's not numbers. It's numbers and feelings. If you understand how to do it at a high
Emotion.
level,
You have to sell emotion.
you have to sell the emotion, tie it with the logic, the monthly payment, the down payment, the location, the school zones, all that stuff. If you're able to market at a high level, which is very easy as a realtor, there's a bunch of systems that we use and platforms that we use. The most important part about that process is the price. Can you price a property correctly where the right people are going to see it in the right time frame while you don't rack up days on the market?
That was gonna be my next question, because you have the people that going, but my house is worth this,
Of course,
and
it
you
is.
tell them, okay, yeah, that's your opinion, but this is what statistics say. This is what is this price. It's not this price.
Right.
How do you convince somebody if they're stuck at a higher price because they want to sell it at a higher price because they want to, make the most money? How is it that you tell them, bring them back to reality and say, hey, look,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is where we have to be at in order
Yeah.
for it to sell quick.
So, number one, a seller has to have a motivation to sell. We use something called DART. They have to have a desire, they have to have the ability to sell, a reason, and a timeline. Once all those things are identified, we have a qualified prospect. There's levels of listening for humans. People have like a priority chart as to who they listen to. The first person that someone will listen to is who? What do you think?
Are they married?
Anybody, any human,
Themselves, no?
themselves. They'll listen to themselves first. They'll listen to who second?
If they're married, their spouse.
Other people.
Yeah, other people.
And then third, the person trying to sell you.
Correct.
So most realtors, they get into a presentation, they bring good information. Let's assume they brought valuable information that can actually help the person price the property correctly. When they sit down, they do what? Hey Sam, look, so your property's at 600, it's worth 550. This other household at 540, and yours is a little bit better, has a little bit bigger kitchen, you put a remodeling. I think you should list it at 550 because it's gonna get you more people, they're gonna look at the property, they're gonna submit more offers. What do you think we should do? That's what most realtors do. What I train realtors to do is we have an entire workbook that they walk the seller through where they have visuals of the other properties. They help them understand the importance of competition, which is the other properties that are for sale. They help the seller see through a buyer's perspective and make them feel like if they were a buyer shopping in this neighborhood, what would it take to make their home the number one option to purchase? And we do that through a sequence of questions. Hey, Mr. Seller, so this property right here that's down the street on 5th, that's for 550. Where would you categorize the interior at? 1 through 10. 8. Da, 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 da. We go through this whole exercise where they are vocalizing the answers to these questions, and then we ask them at the end. Based on this whole exercise that we did, in order to put your property as a number one option on the market, out of all these 3 different price choices, which price choice would you think would put this home as a number one option on the market? And if you were the buyer, want to buy that home first and look at it first. Oh, I think if we put it at 545, it'll be the best one. And now they said it. So they'll believe themselves. And if you're trying to make a case for something or use a past result, don't say, I got this client this deal and I told him to do this and he did that. No, hey, I sold John's house. This guy, John, work with him and make sure it's truthful. Use another address that you sold for. And John felt the same way. He didn't want to reduce the price because he wanted to get more money because he had a nice kitchen like you. And at the end of the day, John agreed that by having more buyers come in the property, he was going to get more offers, higher result. So John ended up going with the strategy. Here's the result that John got. If you want to call John, here's his number. And they'll listen to John more than they'll listen to you. They'll listen to themselves first. They'll listen to other people second. They'll listen to you last. But nobody's training on this shit, bro. People think that selling is telling. Selling is asking. And having them vocalize what the answer is. Because they'll believe
You're just asking the right questions.
The right questions in the right way at the right time. People don't understand. People always quantify mentorship and coaching for sales training as how much am I spending on this shit? How much am I spending? What can I get? How long? And they never ever ask themselves how much it's fucking costing them not to know what to say every single day to the people they're calling and talking to. They don't do the calculations on their phone. That $500,000 client that they met with last week that they did not know what to say when the person told them I need to think about it or I need to talk to my wife.
How much money they lost?
How much money they lost in opportunity cost because they didn't know what to say. When the sales training would cost them one fraction of what they can make for the rest of their career by having the right fucking skill set. Imagine having the best bow and arrow, bro, as your mouth, and you were able to hit the target every single time.
Do you update that?
Every single quarter, I want to say. I just ordered a vibe board, which I'm super pumped about. You know, the vibe board, the cool vibe board. I want to re-update. I've updated my content on school probably 2 or 3 times, and I want to re-update it completely again because I keep learning, bro. As I train,
Of course.
teaching is the highest form of learning, in my opinion, and I teach these people every day. I keep learning and building new skill sets every single month, bro.
So your program, you just buy it once, and you're updating it, or it's whatever you bought. That's it. if you want the updated version, you gotta buy.
Well, the content gets updated. I'll update it every few months, right? But we do 6 trainings that are live every single week, where I make live calls, I role play with you, I answer questions, and that content gets filtered back into the program. We have editors that snip it out. Like, for example, if we do a 2.5-hour training, I'll have my editor go in there and get clips of different topics and put them in the respective modules. So they're basically getting updated content every single day except for Sundays. And it happens the same day.
What happens if you have a client, or has it happened that you have a client that buys the stuff and says, "Coño, Alexis, man, look, bro, I dedicate the time, bro. I believe in this, bro. I'm doing this." Do you grab them by the hand? Let me show you. Do you dedicate some of your time to them as well to build that encouragement in them to kind of say, because sometimes people, they need to get held by the hand a little bit to at least give them that push. Going, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you have you done that, or do you do that?
Of course I've done that. Of course I do it. The reason why you told me course and I said, no, it's not a course, it's a community and a platform, is because now people do it for me. People that have been with me for several months and almost years now, because I've been doing this for close to 3 years. There's almost all 50 states in my community, and whenever somebody comes in and they join and they train, and you see people 6 times a week, you start building friendships and relationships. And I have one coach on my platform, but then people that are succeeding at a high level on my platform start throwing their hand down and helping other people as well. So I'm very involved when it comes to having conversations with them in the role plays and the Q&As. I used to do a lot of one-on-one. I don't do any more one-on-ones. Not because I don't want to. They all know they can call me. I don't have to. There's enough content. There's enough structure. I have a client success advisor. And more importantly, bro, I have agents that have already completely succeeded with this model and this framework and are willing to share it, bro, because they came from a place where they were not making money and now they're making money and they want to continue to pay it back, bro. That's why I don't pitch the videos. I don't pitch the frameworks. I pitch the relationships that you're going to make. You're going to make more money, but you're going to meet great people and you're going to build a fucking alliance, you know? That's why I'm pumped for the next 15 years, because I'm doing this slow and the right way.
Have you, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but have you thought about doing content in Spanish?
I just had a conversation about this today, bro. Yeah.
Because, Pablo, if you really think about it, well, all the Latin America, especially down here in Miami.
Not even just Miami, bro, all over the country.
Well, exactly. I think that's when you take it worldwide right there.
Nobody is doing sales training the way I am in Spanish. Not that I've seen, at least.
So imagínate, so that's...
It's just one of those battles.
You're tapping into another market ahí that...
And I have no competition. At least in the real estate niche that I'm in, there would be no competition. But I wanted to get to a certain monthly income with this side of things and have enough systems, which we're getting really, really close. I'd want to be at least 300 a month with English and the way that I'm doing it right now, where it's kind of like just every single
300
month.
sales a month?
300K a month.
300K a month.
300K a month. Before I tap it.
The program is 10,000?
Mm-hmm. It's 9,500.
9,500. So it is selling 30 a month.
Right now, well, not everybody pays up front.
Okay.
Depending on the person's situation, we have financing, we have Klarna, Affirm,
good.
they can make a deposit. Good. Bro, I'm dealing with a lot of new agents that are broke, bro.
People showed up, dog.
As long as they have commitment, I'll help them, bro. I used to let some people in for fucking free, bro. I let this one lady in, and I don't care if my students see it as a pay shit because they know how much it's worth. I let this one lady in for free like 3 months ago. Because I knew she was gonna make it happen.
And she did?
And she had just paid for another program, which is one of my competitors. I'm not gonna say names. And a lot of people are migrating from that program and they're like, dude, this guy just doesn't care the way you do. And it's not tactical as yours is. And I go, I'm not gonna say her name either. Join, and if in 30 days you don't think this is gonna completely change your life, just let me know and you don't have to pay anything. She's already close to 10K in as far as how much she's paid for the program. She's going to all my live events. I've met her in person already, and she gave us the absolute best testimony I've ever gotten.
Wow. Was it an older lady?
She's probably in her mid-40s. She has kids. And I had that conversation with her one-on-one. That was like probably 3 months ago. And I was like, you know what? I don't think you're bullshitting me. I think you're spending a lot of money, and you're in the wrong platform. Because I knew whose platform she was in, and I know exactly how they structure that shit. You're in the wrong platform. I want to show you what the right platform looks like. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to let you get it for free for 30 days.
Look at that.
And she's never gone to that platform again. Again, I'm not going to say names. Some people watching this might know exactly who I'm talking about. But if you have the privilege to have a platform and coach and have the
Okay, is it coaching in real estate or just sales?
if you have the ability and the privilege, bro, to have a platform where people are willing to fucking listen to you, and you prioritize the profits over the people that you're serving, you're not gonna last long in this industry, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna get weeded out. Everybody's a coach. Everybody wants to train. Everybody wants to make their first 10K and then tell other people how to make their first 10K.
Correct.
If you don't care and you prioritize the people over the profits, you're not gonna last long in this industry, bro. And when you prioritize the people over the profits, guess what happens? You start making a fuck ton of money, bro. Because people start seeing that. You can say that one time on a podcast, but then your students that are with you
That's
every
just the
single
way it
day
is.
are the ones that are going to determine that. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And the companies that are around in 15 years from now and 20 years from now, you'll be able to tell who the real guys were the whole time. Because this takes a lot of fucking energy, bro, to pour into these people, especially in real estate when 95% of the agents out there are not successful. Takes a lot of care, bro. And a lot of the other coaches, here's another big issue with a lot of the other coaches that are like around my age, people that I'm talking about, they want to still sell real estate because they feel like they need to prove a point. You know, they do a half-ass job at selling real estate and they do a half-ass job at coaching. Eric Spoelstra doesn't play basketball in the morning and try to ball up fucking Tyler Hero. He spends all fucking day studying the game and creating the best strategies for them to perform at night. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
That is my opinion. I used to have a different opinion. I used to think that you have to be in the game, tapped in. I'm more
Correct.
tapped in now than I've ever am because I have 50 students all over 50 states. And more importantly, my coach is way better than I ever was, and he's still doing production. So we can give them real market updates. But, bro, if you're not putting all of your time and energy, because there's so many nuances and intricacies and softwares that they need to be successful, if you're doing half this, half that, you're not going to be able to get them that at a high level. Just my opinion.
I was gonna ask you two things. First question is, would you say realtor, women or men, perform the best? Which out of the two sectors do you think will perform the best?
It's a trick question, bro, because the right answer is whoever's more skilled, right? In Miami specifically, I think that men are performing better because women obviously just approach it the wrong way. They think that by putting their tits in their ass on Instagram, they're going to get leads. And sure, they'll get leads, but they're not going to close because it takes a lot of strategy and skill to be able to communicate and work your way through a transaction, especially right now. Maybe that shit worked in 2020, 2021. But I'd like to say around the country that women and men both perform at a high level when they're skilled and learn and know how to communicate at the right level.
My other question is, to be able to scale your bit. Well, I don't want to say scale, but to grow your business, wouldn't it be easier instead of selling to a specific realtor to offer the program to a brokerage?
The way that I teach real estate is very different than a lot of people, bro. I think eventually it'll be more of an adoptable model.
But the reason why I say it is,
It would be, and it will be eventually.
like for example, Grant Cardone.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Cardone would go around the country to dealerships selling his training thing to the dealership. Then the program's already there. The dealership's responsibility is to make sure that the salesman take the courses, pass the courses, all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure if he did or not, he'll still swing by maybe quarterly, kind of give him that pump, to make him feel good. But I'm thinking, bro, this is just me.
No, you're 100% right. And this is
just me.
in the
This is
plans.
me. This is me seeing from the outside. No, I think it'll be better. Coño. Lifestyle, right? Lifestyle down here is one of the biggest brokers.
That's where I started.
Right? George, is it? George?
Mhm.
Right.
He told me this was never gonna work. By the way, I'll say this on the fucking camera for the
Bueno.
first time.
Pero let's say his brokerage, maybe he's opening up a thing and the guy's a little green still. Coño, let's just try this in this brokerage for now and let's just see how it goes. Let's do a little pilot thing. Y a ver de verdad to see if your program really helps. It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win for you, and it's a win for him. It's a win for the realtors. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Because also there's a lot of realtors too that want to open up their own brokerage, but don't know how to train. They're really good realtors. They want to open up their own brokerage, but they don't know how to train their realtors,
For sure.
right? And as a if you own the brokerage, you want your realtors to produce. You want your realtors to be making those cold calls. So that's the approach that I think
It's
that
a huge idea, bro.
instead of trying to sell online y eso, I would say, coño, bro, you know what? Down here in South Florida, there's X amount of brokerage. Let me just try to tap in. Let me see which brokerage right now is coming on, just got their license. And let me go in there real quick and sell my package.
Mm-hmm.
¿Tú me entiendes?
You're 100% right.
And film it. Instead of school, instead of this, aquí, bro, that live, ahí mismo, ahí. And they could touch you, they could call you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving you my...
It's a great idea, and my take on that is part of our plan, and we want to. So I think one of the best sales companies in the world is Seventh Level, Jeremy Miner. To my understanding, I believe they built out a B2C division first, business to consumer, and I think they're building out a B2B.
Seventh Level is what is that?
Jeremy Miner is the founder.
Coño, I seen him on Instagram.
Yeah, the guy that's like, so would you,
he's
nice
blonde guy.
yeah.
I seen him on Instagram.
Yeah. So I want to really get. I'm one of the biggest struggles that I had before real estate was not being able to focus on one thing for a long period of time.
We have ADHD, bro.
And
I have ADHD.
I've tried. I actually started cold calling brokers myself, like late last year. Remember, you were there. Remember when I cold called brokers? I got a few trainings out of it. I ended up almost negotiating a package to train a brokerage of like 300 agents. And I'm like, this will work 100%. But that would be another division, B2B, business to business. I want to make sure
I think that's better.
That will get to $1 million a month faster than B2C will get $1 million a month. But this is what I'm doing right now. Over the next 6 months, I'll probably start building a sales team to start reaching out to brokerages. And my plan this year is to really get a big name for myself. Not a huge name because it's such a niche. More podcasts, more stages, more content, more YouTube. And then because bro, there's people like, for example, there's a coach called Jeff Glover. He's a great coach. That I do like his content. And he partners with Keller Williams offices, which are the biggest offices ever. His business is booming. It's great because he has that partnership with a brokerage. But he's been in the business for 25 years.
And he coaches.
His program is instilled in all of the KWs or a lot of them. That is definitely the vision. But remember, this is my official year one.
But you don't have to do Keller. You don't have to do
no for sure
Remax.
The small
mom and pop ones,
for
bro.
sure, bro.
Que tienen ahí 3-4 realtors. Oye, let me just grab you. Let me see.
Sure. And then you do monthly packages. Let's say you go to a brokerage that has 100 agents. You tell them, look, your top 10 guys that are serious, we'll open up 10 seats in my training program for them, and you pay, instead of $7,500 per person, you pay $2,000 a month per person, or even less. Let's say it's a package, right? And then we bring on coaches, train them. That is 100% one of our things that we want to open up. This is why I love doing this shit, bro, because there's so many opportunities within this specific space. Because some people, we've thought about it, like, what if I just start training high-ticket sales reps?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
What if I start training high-ticket sales reps? Nobody's ever seen one of my high-ticket calls. Like when I get on a call to sell you my course, I've never posted any of that. I have hundreds of closes. And I've sold over 7 figures in that already. And I believe to be one of the best in that space. But nobody knows about that. Because if I were to do that, that's another niche, another vertical that I have to,
Nah, bro, I think
you gotta stay specific, you know?
Yeah,
that'll be the next venture for us. Once we get to like probably $500,000 a month, 1,000 agents in the inner circle, in B2C, we'll probably go B2B. You gotta build, bro. You gotta build, in my opinion. You gotta build first, bro. You gotta build things the right way.
No, 1,000%.
Maybe even sooner. Maybe I'm talking crap. Maybe when we get to $200K a month every month, I'll start opening up my B2B division. You know,
I think you should start right away, bro. Ahora mismo que the market, like you said, for the realtors that are staying in the market now, the brokers that are staying in the market now.
It could be. Now that I have more, because I have more time now. My CEO does everything for me. It's a whole operation. I haven't taken a sales call.
I think it's easier to sell to B2B than to...
Did I tell you that? I didn't take one sales call this month, and we made the most amount of money we ever made. I have not taken one sales call this month.
Wow, that's a big accomplishment, bro.
Yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Last month we made close to 100. We didn't get to 100, which is why I was so happy we got to 100 this month. But I took 80% of the sales calls last month. This month I brought in a new COO, and he started doing things way different, and I didn't take one sales call, and we crossed 100K.
It's better.
That's what I'm focusing on, bro. Leverage.
No, 100%.
Leadership.
It's better for you to be in the back helping your team
I don't even do team meetings though. He does all of them.
Oh wow.
Does Andy Elliott? He'll probably go in there and do a training once a week or maybe in the morning to spice everybody up, but he's not reviewing those guys' calls.
In the beginning,
he was, but the beginning is not now anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm focused on like the content, the brand awareness, and bigger moves. Like for example, I'm really focusing my time on one to many, which means I thought I got my close rate was close to 86% all time. 86%, meaning at 8.5 calls out of 10 calls, I closed 8.5. 1-to-1. In that same hour, I could do a presentation in front of 80 realtors and sell 1 to 80. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. Kind of like B2B, but B2C, right? Business to consumer, but me in front of a room of 80 people. I'm taking a mentorship with, you know who Eli Wald is?
Yeah, of course.
He caters the presentations for Tony Robbins and
one of the big guys, bro, in the space.
I'm in his program, and I'm learning a lot on how to influence people and persuade them on stage within an hour and a half to get them to, number one, believe that cold calling is the vehicle. Because there's open houses, there's Zillow.com, there's social media. The first thing I got to do on stage is get them to believe that cold calling works. Once they believe that, then they have to believe that my vehicle, my program, is the best way to make cold calling work. So that's the art that I'm trying to master right now, is one to many. Because once we do that, brother, I mean, we did close to 30K this month in 2 events that had 70 realtors in. And now we're doing 8 in-person events next month.
I was buying a house right behind where I put an offer on a house. It was going to be to rent. And the people called. The people were like in a different state. It was like a company that was in a different state. They made them sign a contract. They couldn't get out of the contract. Right? The people didn't even know the market. They just had them sign the contract, list the house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they called him and said, "Hey, look, we could list your house for this, this, and this." And the guy said, "Okay." It made sense to him. He had to relocate. Y así al momento, bro, I said, "Coño." Me and my buddy were saying, "Damn, if that's how people are getting listings, imagine having a call center do that."
Very difficult to have a call center get. It depends on what kind of listings you're trying to go for. If you're trying to do wholesale, residential.
It was all this was residential.
So it's a big space, bro. Real estate is
But they tied the guy. They tied him. That's it. It was their listing for X amount. That's it. He couldn't get out.
That's what I don't teach, bro.
And it was fucked up shit.
The number one moral that I have, bro, is integrity, bro.
There was there was nobody going to show the property. He had to show the property himself. He had to go, and we made the appointment, and I went, and he said, "Yo, there's no realtor." So he had to show me the house.
That's why I do what I do, bro. I told my CEO yesterday this, bro. I was driving home, and one of our she works on our team. She's here from Colombia, and there was a guy on 87th and Kendall selling flowers. And I stopped him, waved him, wanted to get her some flowers because she's been crushing it. And I started looking in the car. I didn't have cash. And the guy's like, $10. I go, "You have Zelle?" "I don't have cash." He goes, tranquilo. I know you'll pay me back. He's like, "I know you'll pay me back." I'll bring you the money right now. Don't worry about it. He's like, "Here, take the flowers." I took the flowers and I told James, I go, "Bro, we got to go straight to the bank. I'm going to get the guy $100. I'm going to give him $100. Went straight to the bank, came right back, honked. "Oh, shit, the Mercedes." And I go, "Have you ever heard the saying that what you give gets multiplied 10 times? Well, here, I'm confirming that saying is true." Gave him $100. The guy was like, "Yes, bro. Yes." The point I'm trying to make is, if people pretended, and this is actually how it works, that the universe had a little camera like this, looking at them and looking at their every move and rewarded you based on how you acted when nobody's watching, people would act fucking different, bro.
Of course.
It's not about giving the guy $100 because I want something in return. That is in the Bible. You give without expecting in return, and everything will get multiplied. But people don't operate with integrity. They want to get to their goal faster, so they try to cut rules and remove integrity from the equation so they can get to their desired outcome faster. But what they don't realize is that by acting without integrity to try to shortcut, they're going to not only delay the process, but ultimately, if they do get there, they're not going to stay there for a long time. Because the universe is always watching. God and the universe, right now, everything that we're doing, and take it one step further, everything that you think, your thoughts count more than anything in the world. If you have a bad thought and you have a negative thought and you're gonna do some mischievous thing and you're gonna short somebody some money, you're gonna lie, you're gonna take money from the account with nobody watching. Creator's watching, man. Creator's watching, and he's calling his plays up there or wherever you believe it's coming from according to your actions and your thoughts when nobody else is watching. So when you go steal some shit from somebody's house when nobody's watching, noted, perfect, boom. It's all currency, bro. That's why I've always tried. Have I made mistakes? For sure, but out of ill intent, never, bro. And that's why all the whole bankruptcy and everything that happened to me was such a blessing because, I saw what greed, not that my dad was greedy, but I saw what greed did to people, bro. And that's why I prioritize people over profits because the money's gonna come, bro, and the money's gonna go. Maybe, who knows?
Money comes and goes, bro.
But people, bro, and impact. Yesterday I had at the event, bro. The biggest thing that touched my heart. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot now, but
No, it's all good.
there was a 16-year-old girl, bro. She said she was 16, whatever. She was like, she grabbed the microphone during the Q&A and she goes, I don't have a question. I have something to say. Today's Take Your Child to Work Day. My mom brought me here. I'm not a realtor. I know nothing about real estate, but everything that you just told me today completely impacted my life. And I want to become a realtor now.
Look at that.
And I want to be one of the people that signs up with you because everything that you said today just completely changed my perspective on a lot of things. A 16-year-old, bro. 16-year-old junior in high school. And that to me was like, this is why I do this shit, bro. Instead of being disappointed that I had 300 signups and only 80 people showed up, I was like, this little girl's life, bro, has changed forever, bro. Forever. Because of our integrity, bro. Because I go out there and I tell them the truth, I don't try to persuade them to just buy my program. I tell them the truth about how difficult cold calling is and what worked for me in the trenches and how I got my results and how other people get their results.
So I saw that you obviously I follow you. Can you just dive in a little bit into that whole Colombia experience? You were out there living or did you go out there to try to grow the business out there and try to recruit probably salespeople? What was that about?
I split up with my ex last October and just booked a trip the day after.
Oh, okay.
Was a 4-day trip, and like a lot of the people that ended up meeting out there that are American, you get trapped. And we did our fun. I did my fun the first 2 days, going out, drinking, partying, having fun. And then I like the weather. The food's amazing.
You say that you're in Medellin?
Medellin. It's 100 times cheaper. And I kind of saw it as a retreat, bro. So I did total like 3.5 months on and off, like come back to Miami a little bit, go back. I did 3.5 months total from October to February. And it was a great experience, bro. I know how to move in that country now.
People are so humble, so nice.
So nice, right? So humble. There's nothing like in the United States, right? Like you wake up and you can walk down the street, no problem. I'm not gonna say it's unsafe. I've heard a lot of stories. If you do the wrong things with the wrong people, you will get in trouble.
Correct.
You will get drugged and you will get robbed. But it's a beautiful city, bro. It was so fun. I met great people. I'll probably go back at some point in the next 90 days, spend 30 days there, and come back. There's this building called Keen Living. It is amazing, bro. There's a lot of American people, entrepreneurs locked in, marketing agency, coaches, high ticket sales. You wake up, they bring you your food to your room. You go to the sauna, you do a cold plunge, you set it up for you. You work out, and you get to work all day, bro. And that's it. Then at night, I would go play paddle or go to the gym. I didn't go out, bro. I never went out. Not one time. The first weekend I went out. And then after that, I did not hit one club, bro.
How was the food, dog?
Amazing, bro.
Right?
Amazing.
Did you gain any weight?
No, I was dialed in, bro. Dialed in. I was probably more shredded. I'm not shredded, but I had more of a visible six-pack over there than here because my grandma cooks for me every day now. And I try to tell her, like, lean, but
no
grasa,
no rice.
Over there, I was eating straight salmon, steak, shrimp every single day, protein pasta, eggs in the morning, protein shakes all day. The first month and a half, we had a penthouse and we had a lady that would come every single day. And
who did you take out there? You took your team out there?
It was me and my closer, which is one of my best friends, Chris. And then my uncle and his partner went with us the first trip. They're still out there. They've lived there consecutively. They all moved. Everybody moved.
Really?
One of my uncle's partner, his business partner, lived in Spain, bro. He moved from Spain to Medellin.
What part of Spain?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I can't tell you.
I want to visit Spain.
My uncle's trapped, though. He
Really?
is completely trapped in Colombia. He will never leave there again.
Well, dude, look, man.
He's an online digital
Oh, that's why he can make money from anywhere, bro.
And he goes out every night.
Of course.
Does the whole Colombia thing. Bro, there's too much purpose for me to chase right now. Like, could I go out in Colombia and do whatever I want? Yeah, they fucking love Americans, especially if you got money.
Yeah, you have to know that they're using you, bro. Come on, you have to know that.
I don't know if you want to cut this, but there's this video that my buddy just sent me. You can probably cut this, but I want to show it to you because it's so funny. He just sent me this video today on the way here. It goes,
Oh,
you know,
I
Latinas
see
in
it.
Colombia only want you for money.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we know. I actually, let me not
Has
say
that
this.
motivated you?
Colombia?
No, the breakup. How long were you with her?
Year and a half, 2 years on and off, right? On and off.
Did that motivate you?
It didn't motivate me. It freed up my time.
Was she older or younger?
Younger, really good girl, bro. Amazing girl. Like if she's watching this, I don't know if she'll watch this ever, but amazing girl, amazing girlfriend. Has a really good boyfriend now. They look really happy and
Really?
amazing girl. But you know, girls, bro. Girls want your time. They want your attention, and of course, that's what a relationship needs to flourish. Just like I put time into the business for it to grow.
Yeah, but she had to understand that you were building
She
a
just
business.
didn't. She just didn't
She
at all.
didn't understand.
At all. Because for her, it was more of a like a 9 to 5 thing. Nothing wrong with that. She was good at what she did. But after 5, it was clock out. You know what I'm saying? I'm clocked in from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, and I wanted to spend Friday nights like this. And she didn't, you know? And now the guy that she's with is able to pay attention to her and do all that stuff. So I'm happy for
Is
her.
he in the same space?
The guy?
Yeah.
No. No, dude, he's with her all the time, bro.
No, but I'm saying, is he a realtor? Is he?
I don't
is
know what he
oh,
does, but
okay.
I just know that he's got enough time to spend all the time with her. And I'm not trying to discredit that or say
No,
it's
of
a bad
course
thing.
not. Of course not.
I can't do that right now.
Hey,
I
when
can't- I
you're
can't do that.
building something, bro,
I can't do that.
it dedicates everything. Dude, I left. I know we're gonna keep going. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Jacob. But oh yeah, when I left the dealership, it took me 3 years, dog. I was working 7 days a week. To this day, I still work 7 days a week. But Papa, all I would do is just work and go home. And I was in a relationship recently for 11 years, dog.
Wow. I've never
For
Never even
11
gotten
years,
close,
dog.
bro.
And yo, she stood by me, and you know, it was tough, bro. It was tough. It was tough when you're, and it definitely took toll on the relationship because, probably you're working all the time, and all you do is talk about business. All you do is talk about work.
Don't
All
talk
you
about
do,
anything else, bro.
but you have to somehow separate it and know, okay, I'm not at work. I'm dedicating time to my girl now. Let me not, and just, hey, babe, how are you doing? How's your day? That's it.
That's
bro.
one way to look at it, though, right? Or you can find a girl that
1000%
is
too.
completely obsessed with your vision as well and thrives off
That
of
too.
it.
That too.
And I will never ever get a girlfriend again. Look, at this point, bro, this is a hot take. Right now, I'm prioritizing my mom, my grandma, and my future kids because I want to have future kids, and building what I have to build for them to be able to live the way that they should live and that I think they should live. And until one girl shows me that they can help that vision and not subtract from it, I'm willing to, because I love having a girlfriend, bro. Like, I'm a very emotionally involved boyfriend. I've been a very good boyfriend in the past. I've been a very bad boyfriend. I'm sacrificing that part of my life right now for other things, for other people. When you have what we have in our mind where we can reach other people and change their life, our feelings and feeling good and waking up cuddling and snuggling, it gets to the side, dog. It has to be put to the side for a period of time until you find that one individual that on the first date, I start talking about marketing and sales and she fucking runs with it. That's what I talk on a first date if I go on a first date. Straight marketing and sales. What do you know? Do you like it? Do you like the topic? Do you want to talk about fucking bullshit? You want to talk about bullshit? This is the first and last date. Bro, honestly, like, it has to be that way, bro. Because whenever I've had a girlfriend, my business goes down. Because you want to spend time with the girl. You want to spend time. Well,
you get distracted
the one
too,
before
though.
that was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Hope she watches it. Horrible experience. The other girl, the one that we're talking about that led me to Colombia, great girl. But just, it's very hard to find a girl right now. It's like, yeah, I'll spend all day just like believing in your vision and talking about what you want to talk about. You know? Because for sure it could be a, hey, how are you? How you doing? I care. All I care about right now is the vision, bro. It's not about the money. It's about the vision, impact.
Would you hire into your business?
A girl that
No,
works?
you're a girl.
Has to be the right girl, bro.
I was just a killer marketer, bro. Killer sales.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Look at Andy Elliott and his wife.
Yeah, for sure. No. I would consider
Patrick Bet-David and his wife.
I would consider it, bro.
Grant Cardone
But
and his wife.
for the entrepreneurs out there watching this, bro, you cannot have a girl that tells you to stop working, bro.
No, they have. to
There's a version of
understand.
you that has a girl or no girl that says, keep going, keep going. Don't get complacent. When you hit the 100 grand, when you hit that 200 grand month, don't get complacent. Keep going. You got more in you. There's that girl, and then there's a girl's like, baby, like you've been working a lot. Give yourself a break. This is a goal you've been trying to get for a while. Let's go out and celebrate. And there's that girl too, bro. And that's not a girl that has malintent. But one girl over the next 20 years will help you get much further faster. People got to think about that. You getting me in my Andy Elliott fucking... You know, that shit pumps me up, bro, because there's so many guys that I see sacrificing so much potential for women that don't matter, bro. That don't really care about their vision. They just, bro, girls just want to be happy, bro. You understand that? Girls want to be happy. I no longer care about happiness, but along the way, doing what I do with so much passion, of course I find happiness. But it's like Tate says, bro, it's true. Like, I'm not pursuing happiness anymore, bro. My biggest fulfillment comes when somebody like that 16-year-old girl at the event tells me that I really did touch her heart, bro.
I think happiness is just a
moment, a snippet of time, bro.
And that's it. It's
Today
just,
I almost
boom.
fell asleep in traffic, and yesterday I was fucking, yes, we fucking did it, bro. I went outside and I started screaming. I fucking been chasing this goal for a minute. Today I was just sitting in traffic. It's a moment, bro. You cannot rely how you take action on happiness, on your feelings, and you can't expect to be happy to perform, bro. You have to rely on straight fucking the vision, bro. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What's the purpose?
We could end this on this note. Somebody needs to get going. Walk the dog. You're traveling. You're doing events where we can end it on that. If you want to let everyone know where, you know, what cities can they look out for? What market area?
I would say, you know, if you guys want to follow the journey, follow me on Instagram. It's my full name, Alexis Valladares. This month we're gonna try to hit. We're not gonna try to hit. We're gonna hit Tampa, Orlando, West Palm, Broward, and Miami, and then
the whole month of May.
The whole month of May, towards the back end of the month, we're gonna do Kentucky at the end of the month. One of the coaches I just brought on, he's from Kentucky, so he knows a lot of realtors there. We're gonna hit Kentucky at the end of the month, and then as soon as this works out for us this month, we're gonna go. We have this thing where we want to buy a Sprinter van, and just go and just run, go everywhere. I
hope you wrap the van with your face right there. Bah, and
maybe.
That's the way to go, bro.
I have students in all 50 states, and we're just gonna hit all the important markets, bro, and shake hands and look people in the eye and tell them that there's a light at the end of this tunnel, bro. It's a really dark time for realtors. It's a really, really dark time for 95% of agents that are not making money. And I want to go out there and shake hands and let people know that there's a will, there's a way, and there's a strategy and a framework that can help you do it. All you gotta do is follow it.
Alexis, thank you for the time, bro.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Oh, 1,000, bro.